Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 114 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Doing good. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard, and we do these town halls every single week at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with you guys, go through the same flow you guys do when you do your own shows. Two is to answer any of your questions. So if there's anything you'd like us to address tonight, feel free to leave it in the chat. We'll do our best to get to it. And always make sure I mention our three pillars, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. See lots of people hanging out in the chat tonight. It's nice to see you here. Arctic has a question. How do you animate your profile picture on StreamYard? My friend did it and forgot. So I'm assuming Arctic, you mean the avatar image, and if not, correct me in the chat. But if you just go over your video tile at the bottom, there's three dots, and you can click those three dots, and there's an edit avatar option, and that's how you can change your avatar. Joe Spano says, hey guys, StreamYard rocks. A couple feature suggestions, 2-line banners for primary and secondary text, use case, host name, second channel or live stream name. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, that's a great suggestion. It's definitely come up, especially for folks who are guests that want to have a business name or, like you said, a second channel name or a live stream name. Before I forget, should mention we have tons of shows. We're going to make a show page at some point so that you can easily see them at a particular link. But we've got StreamYard Connect Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern with Ross Branch. It's a great show about the latest things going on in the tech and live streaming world. So be sure to check that out. We have StreamYard Spotlights Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern with Dana and Kelsey, which is a show about you guys in the StreamYard community. They highlight people having success and how they're using the tool. It's really fun. We got Tech Talks Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern for you technical folks. Live stream reviews Saturdays at noon Eastern. Be sure to check that out. And then every 2 weeks, there's also a channel reviews show from Dee and Daniel, which is awesome. I know it's on Twitter. People were having a lot of fun with that. And then we got Coffee with the Ducks Fridays, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, which is where Dana and Jorge interview StreamYard employees. It's a lot of fun if you want to get to know the team. And then recently, Julie launched her own show, Live Stream Impact Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern, mostly about how you can use your live streams for marketing. We also have a feature announcement tonight, so hopefully you guys are excited for that. Let's see who else is here. It's cool seeing all the different countries. Ema saying hola, hola to you. Stuart is excited for the announcement. Thanks, Stuart. All right, we won't keep you guys waiting. Let's go ahead and make the announcement, and that is individual audio tracks. So it's in the process of being rolled out. People on the professional plan should have access early this week. Do you want to talk a bit, Dan, about how it works and everything that's involved there?
Cool, for sure. So yeah, just to reiterate what you just said, it's not out yet, but it's going to be rolled out sometime early to mid this week. And the other thing, the main one to mention is it is on the professional plan. So right now, this is only on the professional plan. It is a very advanced feature. I think for a lot of people, might not need it, but for those of you that need to edit tracks, so this is podcasters or anyone who does post-production editing, this is an excellent feature. So basically, as you probably know or may know, right now, if you record on StreamYard, whether you go live or you do a record only, we'll give you an MP4 file, so a video file, and then an MP3 file, which is just a mixed audio file with everyone's audio. Now, once this release goes out later this week, you'll also have an option. It's a third option, and you have to actually turn it on. So instead of like the MP4 and MP3 files that you get every time you go live, this one you have to actually turn on. It's very simple. There'll just be a little setting for it in your settings panel. But when you turn it on, it's just called individual audio tracks. And what that will do is record audio tracks for every single guest separately and the overlays separately. Like everything that has audio in your stream will now be a separate track. And again, a fairly advanced feature, but the main use case is if you need to do editing after your broadcast, it's very hard to edit a single file. So if you just have an MP3 file with everyone's audio in it, it's very, very hard to edit. If we split it out for you, it's a lot easier to edit. So if you do post-production editing, it's going to be a lot easier now. You'll basically get, I guess just to go into more detail, say Geige and I were live right here. We're doing the town hall. If afterwards I wanted to edit my audio, maybe I was having some issues, maybe a dog was barking in the background, maybe I was too quiet, and I just need to edit my audio. It's very tough to do that if I'm trying to edit it with Geige's audio mixed in there. But with separate audio tracks, you could edit just my audio because you're going to get a file just for me. You'll get a file just for Geige. You get a file for every single overlay you played. It's like we play that intro video right at the start. Sorry, not overlay, video clip. We play that intro video at the start. You'll get a separate file just for that. And then if you want to edit just my audio because I was having some issues, you can do that post-production. Again, very, very advanced or quite advanced. But for a lot of you watching the show, you are advanced, or a lot of you watching the show are. So cool, very exciting feature. Makes StreamYard a lot more powerful and really kind of enhances your entire workflow now. Instead of just the broadcasting tool, you can also start to do other stuff with your files.
Awesome. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about how it works, I'm sure you guys will. Feel free to let us know. We'll do our best to address it. Also know this is just the beginning of the sort of advanced stuff we're going to be doing around audio and post-production type stuff. So if there's other things you'd like to see with audio tracks, let us know what we could do to add to it. It would be super useful for us to hear that. Also, you might have already covered it, Dan, but as far as how people access it, it's what you would guess. Just after the show's over, you just go to the download section. There's an option to download the individual audio tracks, and it's just a zip file, right, Dan?
Yes. So we'll give you a zip file with every individual file. And like I said, though, you do have to turn it on. So that is where it is slightly different than the recording now. There'll be a setting in your main settings panel. Like if you're on the right side, click settings, the general setting, the general area of that modal that pops up, there'll be a new setting to turn it on. And then you only have to do it once. It'll be turned on for all your broadcasts.
Cool. And I guess other questions that I'm guessing are going to pop up is naming and whatnot. I assume each guest will just be their name and the timestamp. Is that right?
Yeah. So you basically, in order to make editing as simple as physically possible, like that was our goal, right? So how do we make post-production as simple as possible? So what you get is the name of the guest, and then like say they were added and removed from the stream, or they refreshed the page, like anything like that. There's just some intelligence to name the things really nicely for you, so it's easy to understand what was going on. And then timestamps. So like when did they start? When did they stop? And same thing for all the overlays. So if you played a countdown for 10 seconds, we'll give you a video file that has a 10-second chunk of that countdown. So if you want to remix everything back together afterwards, you'll be able to do that with all the individual files.
Cool. Avilia says, StreamYard, is it possible for premium users to be able to use the ticker countdown you guys use at the beginning with our own logo? Yeah, you can upload any video you like, Avilia. So yeah, absolutely, you could do a ticker that looks just like ours. Let's see what else we have here. Hector says only for the professional plan. Yeah, Hector, this is a professional feature. Let's see what else we have. Hey D, thanks for tuning in. Sounds like there's quite a few fans. Thanks, Mr. Alex. There's a question I missed earlier about Spanish tutorials. That's a great suggestion, and we'd like to add more tutorials for different languages and the site in general. That's something we're also working on, is translating the site into Spanish and other languages. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, super excited for that.
Anna says my production editor will be so happy. Glad to hear that, Anna. What else do we have? Mostly people just sound like big fans. Yeah, we're certainly excited for you guys to see it. Thanks, Chris. One question we did have for you guys while I continue to look for the questions within here was why you initially started live streaming. It's been a while since we asked a question like that, but I'm curious what the story is for a lot of you. Like, how did you initially get into doing your very first live stream? I'd be super curious.
Sweet, yeah. I'd be interested, like how many people and what platform you started on too. Like how many started on Facebook Live? How many started on YouTube Live? Did you start just because you saw someone else doing it and they really persuaded you to do it? Did you read a blog about it? It's a good question.
Diego says, number one, ask, only thing I mess up is remembering to click the share audio when screen sharing. Is there a way to make the share default so you don't have to click it to show the audio? We'd like to help out there, Diego, but unfortunately that's the share screen is sort of something that's built into the browser, and it's not actually something we can control as far as default selecting it. So as of right now, we can't address that. So apologize for that. Divin says, how do you add video backgrounds? So Divin, you can't actually do video backgrounds at the moment. Right now, we only support static images for the backgrounds.
Yep.
see what else we have here. Chris said, this enabled me to get more people talking about what they do and to showcase their stories. Maybe I missed the part 1 to that. Daniel said,
talking about StreamYard. Cool.
Daniel says, I started live streaming to have a video edition of my audio podcast on Special Chronicles. Very cool.
Cool.
Julie says, started on FB Live 4 years ago, live crafting tutorials and a way to interact with my fans. That's fantastic.
Sweet.
Carlet says, COVID forced us to live stream church services. StreamYard is so easy, especially for us less tech savvy church members. Super happy to hear that we were able to be a solution for you. Carla, that is definitely something we've seen more and more of, is people bringing up their religious services online, which is cool. Paul says, started, have always been on Twitch.
Cool.
Paul, I think you do the Retrologists stream, right, Paul? Maybe I'm mixing you up. Cool stream. Rio says, I started on YouTube and do tech improv theater shows. Awesome. Cool. Flash in your pan said, to interact more with my YouTube community, and I am a ham. Cool. I'd be curious, for those of you that did it to interact more with your community, how did you get on, like, Flash in your pan? How did you get on YouTube in general? Like, how did you actually decide to be a YouTuber? Be curious to learn. Live on Social Now Production says, why live streaming? To add a video element to our podcast. Cool. Looks like there's lots of podcasters in the house. Anderson says, Dan, all the audio files locked to a start point sync to the video file?
I'm not sure I fully understand. But maybe if you can clarify the question. But you should be able to piece it back together if that's kind of what you mean by that.
Yeah,
like they tell you, at 7 minutes and 12 seconds in the video, that's where this audio section started, and it went for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So you should be able to, like, overlay it back on top of the video if needed. Hopefully that helps.
Oh yeah, in case you're just rolling in now, the new feature was the ability to download individual audio tracks. So right now, everyone has the ability to just download the single mixed MP3 file, but now you can actually, like, say you had 4 guests, you'd be able to download a zip file that had tracks for each one of those guests, which should help with editing.
Yeah, it should help a lot with editing. It's very, very hard to edit mixed audio.
Let's see here. Chris said he's wondering how the audio will sync up in post production. Yeah, so you'll have, you go ahead, Dan.
I was going to say, yeah, there shouldn't be any issues with, like, drift or anything like that. If you're ever worried about, like, two different tracks, one getting ahead of the other one, that should be totally fine, if that's the question.
World of God says, started with OBS, so much to learn. StreamYard allowed me to hold Bible studies so simple. Thank you. Cool to hear. Champrix did it for the love of our sports. Very cool. Aaron says, can people talk to each other in the waiting area without being heard while the show is live, please? So if it's a question, Aaron, that right now you can't. There's just the private chat within the studio for people to communicate. We have considered having sort of like a secondary backstage for people, especially people doing events where there's, maybe you're doing like a 4-hour event and you have a lot of people queued back, and there's a lot of different communication and stuff that needs to happen. But we'd be curious to learn exactly how you'd like that to work, Aaron. Like, how big of a waiting area you would need? Would you literally want everyone to be able to talk to each other? Would you just want the producer to be able to sort of like send messages to people individually? I'd be curious. So many cool answers for the why you guys started live stream. We're gonna have to go back and read all of them. Looks like there's quite a few podcasters. Jamal, I was a podcaster, but when the pandemic began, it was time to be different. So we found StreamYard and became Bermuda's most watched and engaging daily talk show. Congrats, that's awesome.
Sweet.
Hey, Kirk, hope you're doing well. Kirk says to create a community where people can find out about little known careers and skill sets. Cool. APG says, coming up on almost 2 years, StreamYard's still the best out there. Thanks, APG. That's super kind of you. Should we go ahead and do our giveaway, Dan, while we wait for some more questions to come in about the audio tracks?
Cool, for sure. You want to explain the rules?
Yeah. So yeah, in case you guys, most of you probably already know, but for anyone new here, if you just go ahead and type in hashtag the yard, you'll be eligible to win. And tonight we'll be giving away, our pillows are out of stock, and so are our sweaters, but they'll be back in stock soon, along with some new items. So tonight we'll be giving away a black StreamYard t-shirt and a StreamYard mug. So just type in hashtag the yard in order to be eligible. James says, we started live streaming to reach more with our Disney focused pod, and it's been amazing. Started with another service, but it doesn't come close to matching StreamYard. Awesome, James.
Cool.
Elijah says, will StreamYard ever have a live screen recorder? So, I mean, you can't actually use StreamYard for recording, Elijah. So if you just do a record only broadcast, I mean, it essentially is a, live screen recording. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the question. Maybe you could let me know a bit more detail. Let's see here. Jamie says, COVID started and my buddy always wanted to start a rad radio show, but I opted for live broadcast and here we are. Very cool.
Cool.
Bobby started on Facebook using an HDMI card, needed something better. Another church person succeeded. StreamYard. Very cool.
Sweet. All right, we got a lot of comments.
Cool. Shall we go ahead and roll it?
Let's do it. She says for a t-shirt and a mug.
T-shirt and a mug.
Best of luck, everyone.
Congrats, Steve. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Dana will reach out to you to get you sorted out with a StreamYard t-shirt and a mug. Congrats to you.
Right on.
Patrick says, since COVID, we can't do shows at bars/nightclubs since the shutdown. And as to progress, my company started live streaming with bars and restaurants. Thanks to you guys. That's awesome, Patrick. Thanks so much for sharing that.
Cool.
Diego was wrangled in to help with a media company. It didn't take long before he was completely obsessed with streaming. Laugh out loud. Awesome, Diego. Stuart says, will separate audio be available to other paid users? So right now it's just the professional plan, Stuart. So the basic users still have the option to download the single mixed audio track after the stream's over, but the individual audio tracks is just on the pro version. Perry says, you asked, live streaming is the best way to connect with our communities. I've been with StreamYard since the beginning. Awesome. Happy to have you here, Prairie.
Cool.
Anna says, it helps me carry the conversation in my Twitter chat to a deeper level. I like that StreamYard lets me use multi-platform. Fantastic.
Cool. Quite a broad set of use cases or reasons for joining. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's definitely a few common themes, but yeah, it's cool how much of a range there is. Dice Grinders sounds like another person where the pandemic caused the jump to live streaming. Sounds like lots of folks that just to engage more with their existing communities, like NLTMW for the 3D printing community. Jeremy started back in 2010 with live plays in college. Wow, that's pretty early. It's awesome.
That's very early. Cool.
Hey, Ross. Ross was back with Blab in 2015, been live streaming ever since. That's cool, Ross. I actually assumed that you had maybe started earlier, maybe in the Hangouts days or something like that, but that's cool to hear. Marco says, friend posted something about a new platform, Blab, followed his link, and he asked me to join him. Love it first live. There's definitely Blab definitely brought quite a few new folks into the live streaming world, which is very cool.
Yeah.
All right, couple other topics for tonight. We have an upcoming StreamYard event in April. The exact date still TBD, but be sure to be on the lookout for that. It should be a lot of fun. We're going to have some awesome speakers. Let us know what you'd like to see in the event. If you have any ideas, do let us know. We'll do our best to incorporate it into it, but it should be a good time.
Cool. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Absolutely. We have some new folks joining us this week. We've got Carly joining the marketing team, which is she's going to be helping out a ton with that event. She's a virtual events specialist. And then we have Mylon joining the wonderful customer support team. So maybe you guys will say we'll be able to interact with him. We also, I think I already announced them, but just in case I didn't, we also have Gabe and Alex joining our engineering team, which we're super excited to have them. Also wanted to mention that we have a blog that we'd love you guys to contribute to. So if you just go to StreamYard.com/contact, there's a form there where if you're interested, you can apply with some information about what you'd like to write about. And I know so many of you have awesome ideas and content, so it'd be great to be able to feature you guys. So be sure to check that out. Luke says, are there any plans for more accessibility features, i.e. the ability to have someone type captions and broadcast live, or the ability to position a sign interpreter in a fixed place? Yeah, absolutely, Luke. So we'd really like to be an accessible platform, and we're happy that we offer quite a few features for accessibility as far as like supporting things like voiceover and whatnot, but we certainly can do better. So to answer your question, yes, it's a high priority for us to make it as accessible as we possibly can. So there are plans to add more features for accessibility. James says, is there a way to keep names on screen while a banner is up? That happens automatically, James. So right now there isn't actually a setting for that.
But thank you for the feedback. And I'd also be curious, is there certain layouts that you're in where you really want them to stay on? Like is it the layout Geige and I are in now where the names don't really need to be hidden, but they're hidden anyways? Just curious.
Joe says, as for the secondary waiting room option, would love to use it to screen audience members who want to call the live stream the way we screen callers on Talk and Sports Radio. That's super useful context, Joe. Thanks for that.
Cool.
Will says, I stream 2 times a week to get with my subscribers, looking for one more day. And yes, I've been with you since you started. Thanks, Will. Yeah, I definitely remember you very early on. Thanks for tuning in.
Sweet.
Steve says, I'll wear my shirt with pride. Thanks, Steve. I'm glad you won.
It's a nice, comfortable shirt. I'm a huge fan of them.
Yeah, for sure. We do have, we'll hopefully have some cool new stuff by the end of the month too. So we'll be able to expand our giveaways. Paul says, I'm the virtual event coordinator and producer for Roland Canada, and we use StreamYard for all our live streams with our dealers and events. Roland US uses StreamYard for all their events as well. Logical choice. That's awesome, Paul. Thanks for sharing that. John says, are you any closer to having a feed to Instagram? Unfortunately, no, John. Instagram is a closed platform. Like technically, there's things you can do to sort of work around that and get a feed into there, but that's against their policy, and we want to make sure we're compliant with Instagram's policies. If that ever changes, we'd love to support it, but for right now, Instagram essentially just wants all content coming from within their own app. Craig says, I really appreciate this platform has made our church service much better and cleaner. That's awesome, Craig. Thanks for sharing that. Flash says, question at StreamYard, can you use a single paid account with 2 channels? Yeah, absolutely, Flash. You can actually connect as many channels as you like. If you have 10 YouTube channels, 20 YouTube channels, you can use StreamYard with all of those different channels.
Yeah. And you can stream to several at the same time if you're really feeling it.
Vince says, nice hair. Thanks, Vince. I guess you maybe missed the initial trim, but appreciate that.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that. So many comments.
Rue says, when COVID came, I started the live stream to see if anyone out there needed a space to feel safe. And a year later, it's a weekly show, Cali Cocktail Hour. That's a super cool backstory, Rue. Thanks for sharing that.
Sweet.
Jamila says, please answer my question. If you could just, there's quite a few comments, Jamila, so if you wouldn't mind typing it out again, I do my best to see all of them, but it's hard to catch all of them, especially with all the hashtag the yards. Marissa says, a green room feature would be great to allow them to test, then enter the main studio. A lot of times I'm working with talent that doesn't have extra time to do an audio check. Thanks for the context there, Marissa. That's definitely useful. Andrew says, any chance 1080 quality will be coming to the basic plan, many ask me. So I don't have any specific info there, Andrew, but you never know. It's something, we're open to.
At first I read it as 1070 and then, oh yeah, 1080.
a new cool format.
Hold up. Yeah.
Jamie says, what's the max destinations you can send to simultaneously? On the Pro plan, it's 8, Jamie.
So you can have as many options as you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you could connect, I think it's 100 destinations. And even then, if like for some reason you needed more, maybe let us know. But I think it's just sort of arbitrarily capped at 100. But yeah, you can stream. Well, you probably know how many you can stream to from the pricing page. Either 1 on the free plan, 3 on basic, 8 on professional. But you can have as many as you want connected.
Aaron says, can you have 2 different streams going at once with one account? So technically, you can. It is our policy that you should have one account for each person using the account, but you can actually do that, and we'll likely make it easier for formalize that in the future for people that do have multiple people using the same account. But to answer your question, technically, yes, at some point we might ask you to upgrade to a different type of plan to support that, but it will work. Tristan says 100, might need that for an upcoming project. Very cool. All right, we're just about out of time here. Let's see if I can find any last questions about the new feature or some. Thank you guys for sharing the why you started live streaming. I really enjoyed reading those.
Yeah, it's very cool. A lot of good stories in there. Like a lot of you guys have interesting backstories.
Charback says, any plan to support 4K streaming? So it's not in the immediate roadmap, Charback, just because of how it's a lot of resources required to stream in 4K. So a typical user, especially if you have guests, pulling a 4K feed from them on many devices, it's just not going to be possible for them. But technology is always advancing, and the boundaries are always being pushed. So who knows in the future? You never know. But it's not in the immediate roadmap. Redwan says, I'm doing my live stream in Arabic. I love StreamYard. Thanks so much.
Cool.
Carrie says, are there plans to make hop-in comments available in StreamYard during the streams? Yes, absolutely, Carrie. That's actually coming relatively soon. There's going to be a direct integration with hop-in, so you'll be able to see the comments, show them on screen, and do all the fun stuff that you can do with the social platforms. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. This was a ton of fun. It's always great to be able to interact with you and answer your questions. If you guys do have any follow-up questions regarding the individual audio tracks, our support team's live 24/7, so feel free to reach out to them, StreamYard.com/contact. I'll be happy to help you out. But this was episode 114 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall, and we will see you guys next week at the same time.
See you, everyone.